Hey, hi everyone. Good morning all. Okay, so let's start. Okay, folks will join. Okay, okay. So welcome to the demo. Okay, for the DevSecops with Multicloud. Okay, so before I proceed, right, let me introduce myself. Okay, so my name is Sagar. Okay, I am the trainer for this complete course. Coming to my experience, I have total 12 years of experience in this field. So I started my career around 2013 as an intern. So from there, the journey started. Okay. Journey started of DevOps. Okay. And I worked in Wipro. From there, I went to TCS. At present, I'm working at MasterCard. Okay. So in my free time, so what are the free time I get in the morning hours before my shift starts? So I spend here. Okay. So as part of this career IT, so we train multiple batches, like we train, this is an individual batch. Then we train corporate batches. We also train consultancy batches. Okay. So we do certain workshops at startup companies, MNCs. We also, provide seminars to colleges and etc. things, right? So that's a brief about the institute. Now, and myself, moving on, this would be the agenda for today. Okay, this would be the agenda for today. So DevOps overview, cloud computing, AWS and Azure engineering, industries where DevOps and Azure is used, and what will be the roadmap for your DevOps and cloud, what certifications you can do it, okay, and what uh, growth you can see at the industry. Then we'll see about, okay, and before all of them, we'll see some prerequisite. We'll see some prerequisite of DevOps and cloud. Fine. But before I go into prerequisite, okay, let's have a little bit of introduction about yourself. Okay. Two lines about yourself would be great. Folks will be joining. Okay. So, like, are you fresher? Are you are you trying to switch a technology? Okay. Or you're working somewhere? Just two lines about yourself would be great before I proceed. Okay. In the meantime, folks will also join. We'll spend 2 minutes of time. That's it. We'll not spend much, just 2 minutes, and then we'll move into the prerequisite. Okay, we'll move into the prerequisite of this, and then I'll start your actual content of the demo. Right? Let's move on. Anyone would like to proceed? Just two lines about yourself. You can unmute yourself.
Hi Sagar. This is Surya.
Yeah, hi. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, I'm new to DevOps. So I have completed my master's in business analytics. Right now, currently, I'm working as an intern in a corporate company as a DevOps engineer. So I don't know much about DevOps and all, but I have secured a job as an intern.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to go?
Hi, Sagar. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can
Uh,
hear you.
yeah, hi. So I'm Vikram. Uh, I'm working for a product-based company as a build and release engineer from past 4 years, and
Okay.
I'm learning. I want to learn this course to get my knowledge more about security thing. So I'm not familiar with the security which is involved with the DevOps. So I want to know how DevOps and security are interlinked, and that may be encouraged to my next promotion actually. So yeah, they are actually I live in Canada, so they are encouraging more DevSecops people right now, so I want to learn that course regarding that. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Yeah, thank you. Anyone else would like to go? Okay, no worries. Right. Let's move on. So, very first, the prerequisite for your DevOps or your cloud or SecOps. So remember, guys, this is one of the this is one of the digital technology. Okay. So have time and patience. Okay, there's a lot of growth in this technology. Okay, people who are working, there's a lot of growth in this. Okay, there are a lot of opportunities in the outside India. Okay, in different countries there's a lot of opportunity. In India we have a lot of opportunity. Okay, so have time and patience. Okay, so if you have that right skill, okay, and you have that patience, okay, to gain that skill with that experience, so there is a very fruitful result, okay, at certain experience, right? And then basic of Linux and shell scripting. Okay, so remember that people might be already working in DevOps, people might be new to DevOps, or people might have a different experience. Okay, so remember that Linux is the base for everything. Okay, because 90, almost say like 90 plus percentage of companies are making use of your Linux operating systems. Okay, their environments are based on Linux. Okay, so their platform is running on Linux. Okay, Windows we use it, but very rarely. Okay, so Linux is the base. Why I'm putting again this, because no matter how advanced you learn it, if your basics are strong, you can learn any new tool which comes in the market tomorrow. Okay, or you can learn anything which comes on your way, or you can troubleshoot any other tool, okay, which comes on your way. Okay, so if your Linux is strong, then your DevOps in cloud is easy to learn. Okay, and then shell scripting is just an automation. Okay, we just use this for automating your activities, small activities. Okay, so we're going to learn this from the scratch. Linux, we're going to learn from the scratch. Okay, we're going to put a good amount of effort. Okay, because it is a base pillar for your cloud and DevOps. Then anyone who is passionate to kickstart their career as a DevOps engineer can attend this program. Okay, anyone who is passionate, they can start this. They don't We don't have any prerequisite. We are starting from the scratch. Okay, everything we are starting from scratch. You don't need a prerequisite. You don't need a hard prerequisite. Okay, programming knowledge is not mandatory. If someone want to add a programming knowledge on top of this, or someone already is a developer, okay, if they are a Java developer, if they are Python developer or something, right, you can add Python and Java on top of it. Okay, but that's a separate course. It's not part of this. Why? Because it takes time, right? It takes minimum 3 months to 6 months of time to learn your Java and Python. And then graduates, undergraduates, backend developers, non-IT people, freshers, anyone can edit this program because there is no prerequisite. You're starting from the scratch. Okay. So main is have time and patience, guys. Learn it thoroughly. Okay. And then proceed. Fine. And then this modules. Okay. We have divided the complete course into 6 modules. So introduction to DevOps world, this will give you some high level knowledge about overview of DevOps, the culture of DevOps and etc. things. Then the module 2, 3, 4, 5 is the main, right? So in this Linux admin is the main. Okay. So concentrate more on Linux. Why I say, because if your Linux skills are good, any installations, any configurations, any troubleshooting skills, okay, that will make it very easy for you. Okay. And that will make you quick, okay, to resolve any issues. Okay, then DevOps tools. Okay, so you have 15 plus DevOps tools which you're going to cover as part of this. Okay, and then you have Azure and AWS cloud engineering. So whatever the what are the services that fall for DevOps, all of them will be covering as part of this. Okay, because Azure and your cloud, basically, when you say cloud, cloud is not for DevOps folks, or cloud is not just for system admins. Cloud is for everyone. Even developers make use of it. Even data science people make use of it. Data engineering, machine learning. Okay, so different folks make use of this cloud. Okay, so in that, whatever part belongs to us, we're going to cover that. And then monitoring and SecOps. Okay, so we're going to learn some set of monitoring tools. Like you have like two set of monitoring tools. We have like 8 tools in that. Okay, and then you have your SecOps. Then you have your SecOps. Okay. So security ops, again, you have like 6 to 7 tools which you're covering as part of your code scanning, your Docker image scanning, okay, your vulnerabilities check, okay. So your secrets check. So all that things we're going to cover as part of this. And then your interview guidance. Okay. So you also put little bit of interview guidance. Okay. People who need guidance for the interview to prepare their resumes and etc. things will be putting effort. Okay. Now moving on, this is the course tools which you're going to see. So we have Kubernetes, Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, JFrog, Terraform. You have monitoring like ELK stack and your app monitoring like Grafana, Prometheus, etc. things. Okay. And then you have cloud, Azure, your GitHub Actions, and your security tools. Okay. And then you can find these details in the course. Okay, I'll walk you through the syllabus part, and then we'll be doing some six projects. We'll be putting our hands in 6 different projects. Okay, so we'll do our hands-on in terms of 6 different projects. Okay, apart from our daily hands-on, we'll be doing some this, and then we'll learn some architecture diagrams, some flows, some integration parts, and etc. things which you're going to implement as part of this, which you're going to implement as part of this. Right now, coming to the course, hope you might have gone this one. Okay, you can see all the information about your tools. You'll get all the information about these tools. You can go through the tools. You can read all the tools information, etc. things here. Okay, so you can see all your cloud knowledge, your Terraform knowledge. Okay, so your monitoring knowledge. Okay, and your security tools. Okay, we're going to put also effort in the security tools, which you're going to see. Okay, and then your Azure, and finally your interview part. Okay, you're going to see your interview part where you're going to see your grooming for technical to non-technical information, etc. things, right? So all info, all that interview guidance, and finally so whatever you learn it here, everything is shared. Okay, and as part of this course, we don't use PPTs, guys. Okay, we don't use PPTs anywhere. This PPT is just for demo purpose. Everything what you learn is whiteboard. Everything what you learn is whiteboard. That means you implement your architectures in how your organizations, you understand the concept. Okay, you draw architectures, how exactly a infrastructure stack looks. Okay, all that things will be working in the form of white diagram, and then we have a separate notes. Okay, that notes we update on the daily basis. It's not just a written note somewhere. So based on every batch, we increase the syllabus, right? So that notes keep changing. So we will provide you the updated notes, which are handwritten in the class. Okay. Okay. So now let's move on. Okay. So let's move on with little bit of introduction to DevOps. Then I'll walk you through. Okay. Then I'll walk you through the technical diagram. Okay. And also we'll speak about what is DevOps, where DevOps is used. Okay. Where industry is being, where the DevOps is being used in the industry, and we'll talk about some certification path and etc. things, and then we'll proceed with the technical diagram. Okay. So very first, right? What is DevOps? Okay, you guys might be working already, but what is this DevOps? In simple terms, DevOps is a process, guys. In simple terms, DevOps is a process. Okay, so DevOps is a process. Initially, it came as a process. It came in early around, like you can say, in around early 2000. Okay, early 2000 it came. Okay, and then around I have seen like around 2012 we used to use a word called build and release, but still companies make use of the term called build and release. But around 2000, around 2012, 13, I used to use this build and release technology, right? It was heavily used. Then slowly that got transformed around 2015. We saw that DevOps stepped in, but still there are companies who still make use of your build and release, who still make use of your build and release. Okay, that is still there. They still make use of your build and release. Okay, but now it's completely the word called DevOps. Okay, and it is like moving into advanced, which is security ops, which is moving into security ops. Okay, which is moving into your security ops, right? Moving into your security ops. So now what is this DevOps? Okay, what is this DevOps and where it is used actually? So in simple terms, is right from you build any product or a software or website until you deliver that in the market is the entire DevOps process managing it. That means this entire DevOps process is the what which manages, okay, which manages all of them, which manages all these things, okay, which manages all this, which manages all these things, okay, which manages all this. Sorry, no. So initially, this DevOps came as a process. Initially, the DevOps came early in the market as a process. So that is why they wanted this two keywords, dev for developer, ops for ops. Okay. So they combined these two keywords and formed a keyword called DevOps. And that DevOps came as a process in the market, a process or a practice where development and operation work together to build a quality product. Okay, right from designing till it goes live in the market. That means right from your design till it goes live in the market is what your DevOps is the DevOps process. But they face difficulty in this process. So they brought something called a life cycle. They brought something called a life cycle. They wanted a proper life cycle. So they followed the SDLC life cycle, right? So they decided that we'll have a proper life cycle, okay, proper steps for implementing a DevOps process. So they brought this planning, build and code, integration, testing, deployment, feedback, and everything. So this planning. So this life cycle has some importance. It's just not a planning. Behind this life cycle, okay. So behind this life cycle, you have all the tools. So initially, DevOps came as a process. To implement this process, they wanted a life cycle. To implement a process, they wanted a life cycle. To run this life cycle, you wanted your technology. That is how the DevOps technology came in the market. So initially what happened? Initially what happened? So DevOps came as a process. To run this process, they wanted a proper steps. So they brought this life cycle. To run this life cycle, they wanted technology. That is how your DevOps technology came in the market. But remember, any technology which comes in the market, there's a legacy technology, which is called build and release. Okay. So build and release was a term which was used before DevOps. Okay. So this build and release, okay, we used to call build and release engineer. Okay. So this build and release technology had some legacy DevOps tools that are still there in this. Okay. And this was used. But why this build and release failed in the market is because it is to use waterfall model. It is to use a life cycle called waterfall model. Okay. It's to use something called waterfall model. This waterfall model had some drawbacks. What kind of a drawbacks it has? So for example, they used to set some time. For example, when they used to plan, they used to say that for requirements, I'll give 2 months. They used to work for requirements on 2 months. Completed 2 months, they used to spend on requirement. Once the requirement is complete, they used to come to design. And then they used to work on the design. Okay. And they used to spend some time there. Then they used to come to development. And once development is complete, they used to come on testing. Now at the testing phase, if something breaks, again they have to start from the requirement, design, requirement here. Okay. So they can't roll back here. So they have to again start from the scratch. Again, they have to start from the scratch. So it's a time taking process. 2 months wasted, 2 months wasted, 2 months wasted, 2 months. So 8 months are wasted. Again, you're going back. So, and to as they couldn't waste the time, they used to get a minimal fixture and they used to proceed from here. Okay. So this waterfall model failed in the market. Why it failed? Because it was used by your, okay, this waterfall model failed and your build and release is to use this one. So it failed in the market. There's one more example for that. Okay. There's one more example for that in this waterfall, in this build and release technology. There was minimal testing. There was no proper testing. There was no proper security tools. Okay. There's no proper enhanced versions of tools, right? So it failed in the market. That is how they brought the DevOps process. That is how they brought the DevOps process. So DevOps process, what it did, it is to use your agile model. So they used to keep iteration wise. They used to not keep months of time here. Instead of that, they used to start your iterations. So the first iteration, they'll keep 2 weeks. They'll give only 2 weeks of time. In these 2 weeks, you start your requirement, you start your analysis, you start your design, you start your coding and everything. And you test it. If everything goes wrong, you fix it in the design and start a new iteration again. Okay. So they used to give only 2 weeks of time for one iteration. Okay. they used to give 2 weeks of time for one integration. That is where they used to use, they used to have something called sprint planning. They used to use something called sprint planning meeting, right? So we used to have something called, okay, they used to use something called this agile model, and they used to have something called your sprint planning. They used to do a sprint planning where they used to work, okay, 2 weeks of time they used to set for a, okay, release. They used to set for a release for 2 weeks of time. Now, this was used by your DevOps. Agile model was used by your DevOps, and this waterfall model, which failed in the market, is to use by your waterfall model. So to come out of this waterfall model, okay, they brought this agile model, and that is what it is used by your DevOps. That is what it is used by your DevOps. So DevOps is an advanced one compared to your build and release. Okay, so this is a legacy. So from build and release only DevOps came. There are certain tools from here which we took it, and then we formed your DevOps. But there was a challenge in this. What was the challenge here? Take an example of simple traditional development and operation. So imagine that in traditional development, there is a car manufacturing company, a company who is manufacturing the car. They're building all the spare parts. So developer is building all the spare parts, and then he'll prepare a documentation how to fix this car. So this operation people, what they'll do, they'll read the documentation, they say take the spare parts, they start preparing the car. The car has been prepared, they do a minimal testing, and they send it to the customer. Now we don't know how the customer is going to use. Is the customer expert in using a car? Is the customer beginner in the using a car, or the customer doesn't have any knowledge about the car? So, but the car should not stop in any case. Car should not give any kind of a breakdown in any case. Okay. So let's assume the customer purchased a car. Okay. These people developed a spare part. These people fixed the car. They sold the car to the customer. Customer took that car. He drove 100. He started driving 100 kilometers. After 100 kilometers, car stopped. Now, is it a mistake of a customer? Is it a mistake of the company? Obviously, even if the customer makes a mistake, it's still the mistake of the company, because at any condition, your car should not stop. Okay. So what was the problem there is? Problem is the level of testing. The customer came back and said that car has stopped. It is not starting. I spent lakhs of amount. Car is not starting. So if you see today's car, the level of testing, the level of guidance, right? So if something you don't use properly, car will give you alarm. It will give you a notification on your dashboard, okay, or it will give you different kinds of alarm. And today, like most of the cars also have like AI bots and everything, right? They give you a voice recognition mail, right? So they give you a proper voice also. If something is, maybe your handbrake is on, or your door is not locked, or you have multiple features, right? You're changing your lane, or your ADAS braking system, etc. things has come today, right? So let's see the level of improvement you have it. So that was not there in the traditional development operation. Why? Because if these developers and this operation work together, that means developer will do development, operation will do operation work. But if they work together to achieve a goal, then the products will be in a quality product. Okay, that is where they decided, why don't we bring this dev and why don't we bring this ops together to build a quality product. The goal was to build a quality product. Okay, they wanted to build a quality product, okay, so that the operation development will work together, business will run smooth, and the end users will be happy. Okay, that is how the DevOps process or a practice came in the market. So initially DevOps came as a process. They wanted to bring a process, a culture where they can build a quality product. That was a goal. That was a goal of the companies. And then slowly they brought this life cycle. You have this life cycle like planning, build, and etc. things. And then, okay, then your DevOps technology, like tools and everything, came out to implement this process. That is how your DevOps technology came in the market. Okay, as there was a drawback in build and release, they went with your DevOps technology. And since your 2012 or before 2012, we are still using DevOps. There's no change in the DevOps. Right? Now, question arises, where is this DevOps used? We are working as a DevOps engineer. We might be learned DevOps. We might have, heard about someone from DevOps, or we might be going to work in many more companies and many more industries. So where exactly DevOps is used? Now question arises, where exactly DevOps is used? So DevOps is used in multiple industry, guys. It's just not a software world. Okay, DevOps is used in multiple industries. Okay, software is one industry. Just you have opportunity in your automobile as well. Okay, your Benz, your Skoda, your Maruti Suzuki, all of them has a software department. All of them requires their websites to be running. And if you think that your cars are built manually, no, the spares are built manually, no, everything is machinery. And to run that machinery process, again, you require a DevOps. Okay, so DevOps is highly used. And then insurance, you just type in Google best insurance India, you will get 100 plus websites. How that websites are 24 by 7 up. Financial institutes, how do you think your banking, right? Your Google Pay, Phone Pay, that 24 by 7 up. Okay, so social media, okay, your healthcare sectors. So what do you use your insurance, your sorry, social media, right? Your Facebook, Instagram, your LinkedIn, etc. Things what you use it. So how do you think that 24 by 7 up? Okay, if you see all these real-time websites are making use of your DevOps. Okay, anything, Flipkart, your payments, your e-commerce, any kind of a delivery products, okay, delivery websites. Okay, so all these things are making use of it. Everywhere you have your DevOps utilized, e-commerce, okay, with Flipkart, Amazon, education, that is how we connected today. Okay, your healthcare services today, you can buy medicines online. Okay, you can book a appointment with a doctor online, right? So government agencies, so a lot of government agency also make use of a DevOps. That is how, like, if your age is less than 27 years, if the age is less than 27 years or age is 27 years, you have still opportunity to work with government companies, that too with DevOps skills. You have something called AAI, Airport Authority of India, okay, where you get a starting salary of 11 lakhs with a lot of subsidies, okay, with the proper uniform, okay. And also you have DRDO openings, okay, till the age of 35, okay, till the age of 35. And also you have opportunity to work with SBI till the age of 35 as a deputy manager. Okay. Infrastructure side, you have an opportunity infrastructure side where every year deputy manager, okay, SBI deputy manager for your infrastructure, your DevOps skills are having openings. Okay. So these many places you have opportunities. Why I brought this reason is, which industries are dependent on DevOps? These many industries. And these many industries have that many companies. And highest salary paying is insurance and insurance and financial pays the highest salary. The banking, insurance, pays the highest salary in the market. And then now, where is the cloud used in this? And what is this cloud? To run all these websites, to run all the applications of these websites, okay, to manage the load of the websites, you need a cloud. So cloud will give you infrastructure. Cloud will give you infrastructure. Cloud will give you cloud will give you to manage the load. Okay, cloud will give you the fastness for your application. If the application should be, how fast it should require. So it give you the compute capacity, the storage, the network, everything will give you, right? So that is where the DevOps and cloud goes hand in hand. DevOps and cloud goes hand in hand. So you need this together. Okay, if you say that I'll go as a DevOps engineer, definitely need a cloud. If you say, someone say you need a cloud knowledge, you need a DevOps knowledge. So both are required together. Okay. And and these entire products which are coming out of these industries are used by everyone. That means entire population is making use of the products which are coming out of these companies. That means right from your childhood, okay, the people who are like kids, okay, the teenagers, okay, school kids, your mid-age people, okay, your educated people, your uneducated people, your senior citizens, everyone is using these products, okay, because everything is there in the smartphone today. You can use any of the app related to this, can use a smartphone. That means indirectly they're using your DevOps and cloud. So as the population grows, the demand for DevOps and cloud is growing in the market. It's growing in the market day by day. If you see from the previous year to this year, the trend of DevOps has been grown. Okay, trend of DevOps has been grown. Okay, because any new product comes in the market, any new industry or like any new company starts in the market, they need a DevOps and cloud. Okay, DevOps and cloud is a base for any company, any product. It is base. Okay, Any new product comes, any new company establishes, they need a DevOps and cloud because that is a base for the company. That's a base for their company. Fine. Now, now, where exactly a DevOps is used actually? Which companies are making use of it? So research companies using a DevOps is not just like one or two companies which you see. There is there are like, I would not say 500 fortune. People use a word called 500 fortune companies, right? But I will say there are n number of companies, guys. You can't even count that many companies are there which are using a DevOps and cloud. That many openings are there. Okay. So research where DevOps is used, where cloud is used. Okay. Okay. Where your Azure AWS is used. Okay. What salaries they're paying in India, in outside countries. So check everything, what openings you get on the daily basis. So research, it's your time because it's not just like we are already in the industry, doesn't mean we don't switch a job. We need to switch a job at a certain time. Okay, you might have joined today, but after 1 year or 2 year, okay, or maybe after 3 years or 4 years or after 5 years, okay, if you want to see a next level of job or you want to see your salary going at 100% or you want to see your salary going at above 50%, right? So you have to jump at the company. So you need that expertise, you need the advanced skills, okay, to proceed further, right? So that is how. So research. First is research, guys. Research where DevOps is used. Okay. What different opportunities I have with the DevOps? Do I have a government job? Do I have opportunities in outside countries? Do I have opportunities in India? Okay. So I have opportunities in product-based company. Do I have opportunities in MNCs? Okay. Do I have opportunities in a new established startup? Okay. People are preferring now, most of the people are preferring startups. Why? Because if you see right today startups, how it is, the people will start their startups, they hire a good DevOps engineer, they pay them a very good salary, right? I would say like even your product-based companies will not give you that salary. They give you excellent salary. Okay. Even for example, if I take an example of a 5 years or 5 years experienced person, they'll give into five into five. So directly they'll give 25 lakhs of salary. They'll give you something called company stocks like ESOPs. They have something a word called ESOPs. So they cannot use right now. But after 3 to 4 years, they try to sell this company and some other company will acquire you. So this ESOPs get converted into your stocks. You get the benefit of the stocks. Your salary when the other company hires you, they again hire you with a 50 to 80% of hike. So almost like a 5 years experienced guy who's spending 1 or 2 years of time, his salary almost goes into 10x. Okay. He gets a stock, he get a good amount of stock where he spend almost like okay 40 50 lakhs of, I would just giving a estimate of that. Okay, because most of the startup companies invest in US companies, so they go around 40 50 lakhs. That is how the market is, I have seen, right? So that is how you get opportunities. So only thing is that guys, right skill. Okay, so when you are in a job, when you got a job doesn't mean you don't stop working on it, because until you complete your 5 to 8 years, okay, until you complete your 5 to 8 years, okay, you don't see that very high salary. Okay, so you might have seen it now, maybe like 3 years 4 years also you get a good salary. But when you switch around five and you between your 5 to 8 years, you'll see your salaries. Okay, you'll see your salaries in India, at least you'll see a salary where you'll get in hand about 2.5 lakhs. 2.5 lakhs in hand after going all your cuttings, after your taxes, after your PF, after your professional tax, XYZ tax, you get 2.5 in hand. Okay. So that is how I have seen. And there is more than that. Also, there like 10 years of experience guys are getting like now 60 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 45 lakhs of salary. Okay. For the DevOps. So there's a demand. But only thing is that you should have patience. You should have time to explore things. You should have time to add new skills to your resume. That is how it goes. Okay, so only thing is that research, the more you research, the more opportunities will fall in your bucket. That is how it is. Okay, that is what the reality of DevOps. Okay. Okay, so there are companies which give you, so standard companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro and everything. What happens if you're there for a longer time in that company? they'll give you position, but they'll not increase your salary and etc. things. But when you go from outside to TCS in process, they'll give you good salary. Okay, that is a company's policy. We cannot help it. But there are good companies like product-based companies, startup companies, etc. thing which we pay based on your skill, based on the skill. So the demand is very high. Okay, only thing you should have the right skill. Okay, to proceed with that. Fine. Okay. Okay, it's fine. I'll take a pause for 2 minutes and then I'll proceed. So, any questions, guys? Anything you have? Any questions? Any queries? Any doubts? Any questions? Feel free to ask. Anything? Feel free to ask. Any questions? Any queries? Any doubts? No questions? Okay, fine. No. So just let's move to some high level technical diagram, and then we'll uh, detailed diagram. We'll show you the detailed diagram as well, but let's go to high level diagram. So just give you some understanding. Okay, so so what is this DevOps process, guys? Just now I told you, right? Right from building a product till it goes live in the market. So here what happens? So very first, any product you want to build, any product you want to build. So there are okay, there are different teams in working products. So what is a goal? Okay, what was a goal? A goal is what? Right from designing till it goes live market is DevOps process. Now, what is this DevOps process? Let's see this DevOps process, how this DevOps process actually works. Okay, what is this process of DevOps and how actually it will work? Okay, let's see this DevOps process. Okay, so here you'll get a high level understanding about how exactly a DevOps process works. Okay. Okay, how this DevOps process actually works. Okay, how this DevOps process actually works. So there are developers. Okay, and these developers write the code in different language. Let them write in different language. Let them write the code in different language. Let them write in your Java. Let them write in Python. Let them write in okay. If they have some .NET or whatever different code they have it, let them write in different language. Okay. So this is developer. So what developers will give you is okay. What developers will give you is they will give you the code. Okay. So this is your designing part. They do the designing everything, and then we have to okay. We have to release it to the customer environment. Okay, release it to the customer environment, right? So we have to do the release in the customer. So different customers and the environments. For example, product environment, product, okay, stage environment. You have your dev environment. Okay, your dev is testing. So basically, stage is your pre-prod. okay, your development. So in this, you might have different customers environment, right? If you work for a Flipkart, if you work for, okay, if you're working for Amazon customer, if you're working for any payments, right? For example, you're doing some thing for, okay, so maybe you're doing for PayPal kind of a payment, etc. Things you're doing it. So here, what involves is from a developer, basically what we get is we get the code. And where does this code is stored? Developer will implement all the code. Okay, they will implement all the code as part of this. Okay, and this developer, what he will do is he will store all the code in a he will store all the code inside a tool called Git. Inside a tool called Git. So he will store all your code inside a tool called Git. Okay, so very first developer will write the code. Once they implement the code, once they develop their application code, what they'll do is they'll use your tools, okay, to store all the code in the GitHub. All the code they use it to store in the GitHub. All the code they use it to store in the GitHub. Fine. So very first tool which you see is your GitHub. Okay. Very first tool which you see is your GitHub. Very first tool which you see is your GitHub. So this GitHub tool, why this arrow is not coming? Okay. Your Git or GitHub. Git is a command line tool. Basically, you prefer a GitHub. Okay. We prefer your GitHub. So first tool, developers will write the code, they'll store in the GitHub. After they store the code in the GitHub, from there all your tools will come to make sure you release the product in the market. To make sure you release your product in the market, right? So what are the products you want to release in the market? So you need to do first, you have to build the product. Okay, who will build the product? We will be building the product. Okay, we will be building the product. The product is nothing but it can be a website, it can be a software, it can be okay any product which you want to build it. So right from developers writing the code till your product goes live in the market, we are responsible for it. In this, all your DevOps tool will come. Okay, so we will be doing all your build and deployment process. Okay, we'll be doing all your build and deployment process. So all your build and deployment process will be part of this. Okay, all your build and deployment process will be there, where you'll be doing this build and deployment process. Okay, so in this build and deployment process, there are different tools. There are different tools which are involved. Okay, there are different tools which are involved. Okay, so different tools which are involved. Like for example, if you do with your Java code, there's a Maven. Okay, if you go with your Python kind of a code, you don't need any kind of a tool. You can use just Python. Python has its own libraries. Okay, let them write the code in your Python. Or if they're using your front end, they'll be using your okay npm, okay, or in Node.js kind of a thing, Node.js or npm kind of a thing. So basically, we use npm for the Node.js, and if they're using any kind of a .NET kind of thing, they use make. There's something called a make binaries. With the help of make binaries, we can make use of it. We can make use of this make binaries, right? So now this is what the build part. So this is totally a build part which they'll be doing it, right? After the code is given, we do the build part. So the what this build part will do is this build part, okay, will do the execution of the code. It will do the execution of the code, okay, and finally it will give you one software. It gives you one software. Okay, it gives you one software. So it generates an software, and that software is called as artifact. It generates an artifact, okay, in the form of .jar, .var, or any kind of a different artifact versions, okay, which you want to use it, you can use as part of this. Okay. In this complete build and deployment process, the first one, you do it this. Then after that, you do your scannings. You can do your scanning. So basically, we prefer your SonarCube scan, or you can use your 45 scan. Okay. or you can use your there's something called Coverty. Okay, different are there. All are almost similar. Okay, all are almost similar. The different vendors it is. Okay, same process it will do. It will do the complete scanning of your tool. Okay, and then what you can do is you can store your artifacts. You can store your artifacts, which is your JFrog. In the JFrog, you can store your artifacts. So all the software will store in the artifacts. So this is the artifact manager. Okay, and why do we do the scanning here? So basically, we want to detect the bugs, bugs and vulnerabilities. What is the need of this one is bugs and vulnerabilities. So basically, before a website goes live, before an end user, before it releases into production stage or any kind of custom environment, you have to first do the scanning. If you don't do the scanning, if there are any errors, what is compromised? Your website will compromise. That means if your code is not written properly, hacker will sit in the internet and he's not worried about your website actually. He's worried about what? He's worried about the data behind the website. That data behind the website is hacked. Okay, if your code is compromised. That's the reason we note this scanning tool. Then this is your storage, your artifact storage. Okay, so here you keep all your artifacts. Okay, why we keep these artifacts? Because it has its own importance. Okay, it is very fast in terms of your speed. It gives a lot of security because what are the software you generated here? Okay, for example, if you take an software, you have generated e-commerce website. Okay, e-commerce website for your Amazon. Okay, so you have done some changes of the Amazon. So if this software goes in a wrong hand, what will happen? Someone will create Amazon, right? So Amazon, they'll create this Amazon one as a duplicate one. Okay, they'll create Amazon one as, like you see Amazon.in, right? Someone will create Amazon clearance sale.in. You will get a website, Amazon clearance sale.in, and that will be a fake website. Okay. If this software is going in wrong hand, that kind of a scenario happen, right? So that's the reason we need this storage, where you store it securely. Only the people who have access, only the people who have proper authentication, they can only use it. Okay, that is how you can secure it. And then for the internal testing, as this is a build and deployment of internal process, built on process, they use something called Tomcat. So Tomcat is again your web server plus application server. What this does is it will help you to deploy the artifact. It will deploy the artifact and launch the application for you. You don't need to do anything. It's a very smart tool. It takes care of everything. It is a very, very smart tool. It takes care of all your activities. It will do it for you. Okay. So now internally, okay, all this build and deploy process. So this is called your continuous integration process, guys. This is called your continuous integration process. Okay, this process is called your continuous integration process. Okay, we use a word called CI process. Okay, this is a complete your CI. Okay, so this is all your continuous continuous integration process. So we usually use a word called CI. CI/CD tools you say, right? So this is a CI process. This is a CI process. And to automate this, you need your Jenkins. To automate this, you need your Jenkins, or you can go with your GitHub Actions, or you can use a GitHub Actions, okay, or you can use your Azure or your AWS pipelines. Okay, AWS pipelines. You can make use of this pipelines as well in case you want to automate. That means what are the tasks for doing it here? It will automate this task and it will be a daily task. It's not just once. Every day developer makes a change. This has to trigger. So this will give you the pipelines and everything. Where you click a button, it will automate everything for you. So this is for the automation. It will do the automation. It will give you proper notifications. It will give you a proper process to implement this one, right? So this is your complete CI process, the complete your CI process which you do on the daily basis. Now, then how do you release to the customer? How do you release to a customer? So first, this is your daily process which you do in the company. On the daily basis, this activity goes on. Once this is tested properly by a development, your QA people, everything they tested properly, they verify, they do a validation. So once you do this deployment, you hand over your work. So basically what you do is you hand over your work completed, your deployment completed for the testing. So this goes for a, basically it goes for a testing actually. Okay, it goes for a testing. Okay, this goes for your QA/dev. Let me increase QA/dev validations. Okay, QA/dev validation. It goes for the QA/dev validations. These people will validate. Okay, so we will share the URL to them, whatever we deployed it. Okay, for example, we deployed in this machine. Take an example, right? We have deployed this in machine, colon some 8080 and endpoint is your Amazon. So it looks similar to your Amazon internally, but it is internal validation. They'll validate everything. They'll verify everything. If there are any errors, or there are any kind of a mismatch, or they want to improve something, again they'll push the code. We will pull the code. We'll do the complete build mechanism, and then we'll hand over to them. So this repeats. This is called a continuous testing. This continuously they keep on testing. And once everything is good at your QA level, they provide you a sign off. They'll give you approvals and everything. They give you a sign off. Okay, they provide you a sign off. They'll give you all the information about your validations they have performed it. Okay, they should give you your QA sign off or something. They should give you a sign off. Okay, they'll give you a sign off by your QA/dev, and then we proceed to your production. We go to your production, then we do a release. Okay, then from once they agree this one, then we start your release process from here. Then we start your production release. So in this production release, how do you release to these customers is, again, we have different ways of doing a deployment, different ways of deploying a deployment, right? So for example, if your customer is preferably based on your, if the customer specifically using your machines, he says that I need for my environment machines only, then we prefer Ansible way of deployment. Always we prefer Ansible way of deployment. So Ansible is a configuration management tool. It's a configuration management tool. Okay, what it will do is, it has a capability. Okay, it has a capability. Okay, to install, uninstall, roll back, upgrade, deploy, and also make complex config changes in single shot. That means even if you have 10,000 servers, Ansible will do it in single shot. 10,000 machines, it will do the deployment in single shot. Ansible has a capability. Which will do this in 10,000 machines in single shot. So for example, if you want to take an example, I'll give you one example. Take one machine. Take an example. I have one machine. In this, I have to install one Tomcat and I have to deploy my artifact, which is the software. Then only I can launch the application. So if I say this Tomcat has 20 steps, this deployment has 10 steps, total 30 steps are there. Do the same thing in 1,000 machines. Do the 30, total 30 steps in 1,000 machines. You have to do this 30 steps for the deployment. So how much time it will take for you to do this activity? It requires a lot of human effort. Humans will make a mistake. That is a different thing again. Humans will make a mistake. And if humans make a mistake, what will happen? At the real-time application, your application will break. And there will be a huge impact. There will be a huge impact for the customers. That's the reason we need a tool which can automate your process and you can deploy it with single shot. Just in single shot, it will do all your activities. It will do your all the activities. Single shot will do your all the activities. Whatever you want to do, it will do your activities in single shot. So from here, either you can go with Ansible way of deployment, or you can go with your Docker Kubernetes. The trending one is Docker Kubernetes. So they want your Docker and Kubernetes. They don't want Docker and Kubernetes. So Docker and Kubernetes way of. Now, why do you prefer this? Why do you prefer this Docker and Kubernetes? So main reason is zero downtime, guys. Today, have you seen any time? Let's suppose yesterday was Friday. A lot of OTTs will release their movies. Did this OTT people say that I will be keeping my OTT website down for 2 hours and then I'll release a new movie? Or have you seen this Mintra, Amazon, whenever they start a sale, they say at 12 o'clock today there's a sale, right? Between 11 to 12, your website will be down. Have you seen anything? No, right? You're not seen anything. Or any changes will come to your apps or something. You see a reflect that changes quickly. So there's no downtime today, right? Okay. Doesn't matter how many people are watching the movies, how many people are using your YouTube or something is not down. Why? Because it has a zero downtime. Zero downtime upgrade, zero downtime maintainability. And second most important is this Docker Kubernetes reduces the cost. It will reduce the infra cost. It drastically reduces the infrastructure cost. That's the reason people prefer this infrastructure cost reduction using a Docker Kubernetes. So to elaborate this, take an example. Let's suppose, okay, I want to see a video on YouTube. Okay, I want to see a video. I'm watching one video. If this video has to process, I require one machine in simple term, right? So if you take an example of YouTube or take an example of anything, Amazon Prime, Disney Hotstar, whatever. If you're playing a movie, what will happen? A movie will play on a screen. A movie will play on a screen, right? A movie will play on a screen, right? When this movie is playing on the screen, in the back end, one machine is required to process this movie or a song. Okay. In that situation, you require a machine. Now, imagine that if there are millions of people who are using YouTube, do you have millions of machines to play millions of videos? Does YouTube people have millions of machines? They don't have millions of machines. Why? Because the cost of infrastructure is very costly. Take an example of what is the cost of one laptop which is used today. It goes up to 20K. It starts from 20K and you can spend up to 4 lakhs, 5 lakh rupees. But the real-time server which you purchase starts from 5 lakhs and goes up to 50 lakh rupees. So imagine that if you want millions of machine which you want to purchase, it will go in crores. Okay, n number of crores or n number of, you'll spend a lot of crores or a lot of millions of money. It is not possible. Even if you want 1 lakh servers, it is difficult nowadays. You can't put 1 lakh servers behind a website. It needs a crores of amount. Forget about millions. Okay. So the cost is very high. To overcome this challenge, they brought something called Docker and Kubernetes. This Docker and Kubernetes has something called a concept of containerization. They use a concept of containerization where you have a Docker image, which is your OS plus application. This contains the OS plus application bundled into it. It's a lightweight image. And then you have something called Docker container. What is this Docker container? It's a micro virtual machine. It acts as a machine. It similarly acts as a machine, but it's very lightweight. It's very lightweight. So here, what is the benefit is with the Docker is what benefit with the Docker is here. Now, till now, what you told for one machine, I used to play one video, right? But one machine, you can create 1,000 containers and you can play 1,000 videos. See the drastic change. So if you want 1 lakh servers, you can complete your work in 10,000 servers only. You don't need to purchase 1 lakh servers in 10,000 servers because one machine is giving 1,000 containers. That means in one container, I can play one video. See the drastic change of cost. Where you're playing one video, one machine, I'm playing one machine, 1,000 containers I'm creating with the help of the Docker concept, and then I'm doing this one. Now, where is Kubernetes used? So Kubernetes is a orchestration tool, guys. It's an orchestration tool. Basically, it will manage the Docker containers. It will manage your Docker containers. It will give you and make your zero downtime capability. So Kubernetes will give you additional capability on top of Docker. So this Docker Kubernetes should go hand in hand. We don't use alone Docker or we don't use alone Kubernetes. So we use both together. We use both together when we work with the Docker Kubernetes kind of environment. Okay. So either a customer will have an environment with Docker Kubernetes or he'll have an environment with your Ansible way of deployment. Okay. And then these two, you use it to launch your applications of the real time where you do the deployment in the customer environment. Okay, you do the customer environment, and then okay, and then where do you think this? How do you think that where all these tools are running? You're running these many tools. Where are these tools running? You need a cloud. Without cloud, nothing will work, guys. Everything is in the cloud only. So you need a cloud. Okay, you need your AWS or your Azure, whatever you're using it. You need this cloud. Without cloud, nothing will work. Without cloud, nothing works today. Okay, everything is cloud. Everyone is dependent on cloud. The complete infrastructure. Okay, the complete infra, the complete services. Okay, when you say infra, you get like that example, all your compute, your network, your storage, all of them, all of them, okay, all of them comes from here, and all your services, right? Inbuilt services which you want to use, okay, okay, inbuilt services you want to use. For example, you want to use your EKS, you want to use your AKS, you want to use your ECS, you want to use your okay, your VPC networking, etc. things, whatever you wanted, everything is there. All the services are there. So all these things will run in the cloud only. So, so your work is very important in terms of this, in terms of your any product, because we are the base. Developer will just write the code, but after that, right from building till it goes into different environments, different customer environments, we are responsible. And here, it's not mandatory that you. It depends upon company, guys. We cannot say, right. Some company may use all the tools. Some company may divide the DevOps team into multiple teams. Maybe someone work on the non-production items. Someone works on the customer facing. Someone works on the automation part. Someone works purely on the cloud part. So it depends. Or some companies will mix of it. Someone says, I want a cloud knowledge, Docker, Kubernetes, and I want some knowledge of Jenkins and Git. So it depends upon the requirement, how it comes. That is how it is. Okay, but when you go for the next company, again these tools will be used. It's not that you're not using in one company, it will not be used. It depends upon company to company. It depends upon company to company. So this is where your DevOps process runs, and in this process you use all these tools which are your technical tools which you work on it. This is how your DevOps works. This is how your DevOps works. Okay, so right from designing, that means right from designing your infrastructure till you send that product to the live, okay, all your DevOps will form. And on top of this, you can apply your SecOps. Okay, you can apply your SecOps part, which is your SecOps and monitoring. Okay. SecOps as monitoring, and you can apply it here. You can apply your security ops as well as you can apply your monitoring. This both you can apply it. So what is the benefit of this monitoring? What is the benefit of this monitoring? So benefit of this monitoring, okay, benefit of this monitoring is, okay, strong monitoring tools and your SecOps tools. Okay, what is the benefit of this is, okay, now in the process of building, in the process of building this complete product for any of the customer, now developers, they write a lot of code. So there are high chances of they might copy something from internet. So there are high chances of the bugs, vulnerabilities, outdated code, everything that will come. If that comes, your website will compromise. So that can be managed by SecOps. Now we do a lot of Docker, Kubernetes images we build. We take a lot of base images. There also there'll be some vulnerabilities. That scanning it will do it here. We might be using some secret for integration. So connecting your Docker with application, Docker with Ansible, etc. We use some secrets. How that secrets will detect. So all these vulnerabilities, your bugs, okay, all that code. For example, your code has some code is not properly written or code is outdated. Who will verify this one? Human minds cannot capture it. So the security tools are one which will implement those. And this monitoring tools, what it does. Now, for example, you deployed 1,000 machines here. Now, will you go and monitor 1,000 machines? It's highly impossible for humans to do that. And we work day shift. We don't do any shifts here. Okay. So in that situation, your systems should have monitoring tools. We should go and capture the failures and send you as an email or we should give you as a notification. That is what the monitoring tools will come. So monitoring tools are very important in terms of monitoring your infrastructure, monitoring your services. If any service goes down or something got restarted in the midnight, every information should be with you. Or take an example, let's suppose there are 1,000 machines. I'll say you go to the 1,000 machines, log in one by machine, and get me all the logs from that machine. It's very difficult. So this monitoring tools has capability where it has log management tools, which will go and capture the logs from all the machines and give you one tool where it will visualize your all the data and will give you. So that is where you have monitoring tools, right? Set of monitoring tools which will do all these activities for you, right? Which will do all the activities, set of activities for you. That is where you have your monitoring capabilities. Maybe I don't know if I added it here. Yeah, it is there. Kibana is a dashboard. Elasticsearch is a database. Logstash is formatting. The file bit and metric bit is the agents which will run on the machines, get the information for you, right? And then you have Grafana, Prometheus, Exporter, Alert Manager. Alert Manager will send the alerts. Exporter is the agent which will capture the data. Prometheus is the database, and the Grafana is a visualization tool which will give you a complete graph. It will give you a complete graph, which machine is down, which machine is up, what service is running, what service is down. Everything information will give you. So you need this kind of a tools to enhance or to make your product more productivity. Okay, make it more productivity and make it most robust so that you can have everything handy. Okay, so this is how your DevOps process works. Okay, so again, it depends upon company to company. Okay, how many tools they'll use it. It's not mandatory they have to use every tool, but we will be learning all the tools because when you plan a journey, with a new course, or when you plan a journey to improve your career, remember that learn it once because it will be with you lifelong, because next 10 to 15 years will be your plan of working, right? So stick to one technology, go from your beginner level, learn till your advanced, and learn till the professional level. Okay, and this course what we have kept, the content is always equivalent to 14 years of experience. If you see the course content is very vast content is there. Okay, so we have kept a good amount of content, okay, to go everything in detail. So that is what the content does. Okay, I'll take a pause. Any questions, guys? No questions. Okay, and lastly, accelerate your career, guys. So very first, gain the skills. You might be working, or you might be studying your career, or you want to move it. So first, keep learning. Learning never stops. Gain the skills, explore everything. Okay, learn it in a proper order. When you learn it, start with Linux. Put more effort on Linux. Programming is for developers. Learn your DevOps or a cloud. Is anything fine? You learn anyone. Okay, start with anyone and learn your monitoring. On top of that, you add any side ons like security ops, or you want to add little bit any other tools, you can add it on top of it, right? And then certifications, yes, do the certification. You have a lot of certifications you have. Okay, first learn properly and then go for certifications. You have DevOps certification, DevOps master certification, Kubernetes expert certifications. You have your AWS architect, SysOps level. Then you have like your Azure level certifications are there. You can do your Azure level certifications. So multiple things are there. If you see it online, a lot of certification information you'll get it as part of this. Okay, as part of this, you'll get a lot of things. And check, analyze the market. What is the market? How much demand is coming? How much salary is coming? Okay. So if you complete your 1 or 2 years, okay, try to switch a company where you're getting good salary, because grab the market. Okay, don't delay it, right? It's not like you work for a company for 10 years and then you have sitting a salary with very minimal, and later you say that my expense is going and give me more salary. Companies will not give you. So if you have like work for a company max 3 years, 5 years, and once you're in the 5 years, if you're getting good salary, your salary is into 4, into 5, you're getting good stocks or companies giving you good bonus, everything fine, stay there. But if it is not giving, try to switch a company, go with the next hike, because salary is important. Okay, salary is important. Okay, otherwise what will happen? Certain expense you get it, then the salary will, no one will give you 200%, 300% hike. If you say like, I'm in Infosys, my expense is 10 years, I'm getting 10 lakh salary. My expense and salary is same. Now I'm 10 years, give me into 3, into 4. Will they give you 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs there? Highly impossible. So that's the reason. If you're staying in a company, see the growth, see the salary also. Okay. Position is fine, but salary is end of the day is what you take home salary. Okay. So look for the salary. Try to switch companies. Okay. But don't switch often 1 year, 2 year. Switch at least a gap of 3 years, 2.5 years. It is fine. Okay. So put effort. Okay. Analyze the market, see the market, how many openings are coming, how much demand is coming. Okay. And then take your decision. Okay. So how much you have to learn, how much you have to spend time and spend the time on it. Okay. That is where you have to put effort in your DevOps. Right. Okay. Any questions, guys? Okay. I'll take a pause. Okay. I'll take a pause. So there's again a detailed technical diagram. This is just a high level. Okay. Detailed technical diagram of each and every tool, which you'll see in once you start a course, we'll start the technical diagram. I'll give you overview of all the tools, each and every tool importance, why it is used, where it is used, what is the traditional way of using it, and then we'll proceed with that information. This is just a high level which I gave you to give a brief understanding about these tools, where you'll get some idea. Okay. Any questions, any queries, any doubts? Feel free to reach out. This numbers, these are the numbers which you have it. Feel free to reach out, and you can visit our website. You can also visit our YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel where you have a lot of recordings of the sessions. You also have demo sessions which you have done it previously. You can go through that. Okay. If you have any questions, just come back to us. Right? I'll wait for more 5 minutes. If any questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you have no questions, we can wind up. And any information related to the course, you'll get by these numbers. They'll reach out to you. Your timing, your fees, your duration, okay, etc. things. They'll give you all the information about this and this via these numbers. Okay, you can reach out to them. You can just leave a message in WhatsApp or you can call them directly. Okay, they'll be providing you all the details. So research, guys, research is the one because journey is important. Once you step in something, once you decide, okay, decide to do something, first step in, check all the information, okay, and then proceed further, then proceed further. Fine. Let's take a pause, guys. If no questions, let's take a pause. Thanks for joining. Okay, have a good day. Okay,
Thank
see
you.
you on the day of the start day, right? They'll inform you about the when the course is going to start. They'll give you all the information in your WhatsApp, right? Thank you, guys. Bye bye.